What's good, guys? What's good? What's happening? What's happening, peeps? What's good? I hope you all are well. I ain't done a live in a long time, so I thought I'd get a live in. What's happening, people? What's happening? Imran's back in home. He's back at it. What's good, peeps? Where the questions at? Where the questions at? Ladies and gents, where the questions at? Let's get this party started. What's good, peeps? What's good? Where are you guys at, man? Where are you guys at? I'm waiting for your questions. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Come on. Let's get your questions in. I'm waiting for your questions. Let's get those questions in, people. Let's get those questions in. Okay, just put this down. Let's get it started. What's good? Yeah, where's everyone gone? Yes. Joey's in the house. What's going on, Joey? What's going on? Scratch your cheeks. I'm all good, guys. I'm all good. What's good, man? Long time. I ain't done a live for like 2 weeks. I thought I had to do a live today. I promised it. Guys, Saul Canelo Alvarez has put a dart out there that he wants to fight Oleksandr Uysk. And Usyk comes back and says, I'll make £200. Is he calling Canelo's bluff? Did Canelo just say that? Now, I don't know. I haven't heard Canelo say it. But Usyk's called his bluff. Usyk's like, all right, then I'll come down to £200 and fight you at £200. Usyk's like, come on, then let's go. His manager Igor Klimas has come out and said, we've already said to Canelo's team that if you want the fight, we'll come down to £200, no problem. I'm at work now, but you think Canelo has a chance against Usyk? No, that'd be. What's going on, D Money? You good?
Okay.
What's
Am I
good,
here?
brother? You good?
Hey, I'm good. What's going on, Imran? How you doing,
All
man?
good, man. All good. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the boxing world, man. I thought I had to go live today because I ain't been live for a while. So I
Yeah,
thought, you know what,
man.
I had to go live, man, because a lot of crazy stuff is happening. A lot of crazy stuff is being said, man. We've got a lot to catch up with. A
I'm
lot
telling
to
you.
catch. Yo, so basically we'll start off with Canelo before we go on to the other stuff that I want to talk about. What's this news today that's popping that Eddie Hearn said that Canelo wants to fight Usyk at he said get the fight at £200. I believe I can beat him. And now Usyk's manager has come out and said Usyk's willing to come down to £200 to fight Canelo. Are they calling Canelo's bluff?
I think they are, man. I think they are. And I think this is too much. It's too much Canelo. I mean, I love him pushing for greatness, but this is going too far, man. It's too far.
But to be honest, we won't mind it if they pull it, if they make it. You know what I mean? We'll watch it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'll definitely watch it. How you see that going if that would happen?
I think Usyk would stop him. To be honest,
Yeah, man.
I don't know. It's one of them, like, because we have this Superman kind of image of Canelo in terms of his chin, right? But
Yeah.
I ain't seen Canelo cracked by guys like that big. You know what I mean? Like, let's not forget, Usyk had Anthony Joshua on. He had Anthony Joshua all over the place in that fight.
Right.
I'm not even talking about like all over the place in the sense that he was outboxing it. I'm talking he had him all over the place, like his legs were all over the place. Usyk was hitting him with shots, and Joshua was all over the place. So Joshua was a big man, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right. And
I don't
Canelo, he
know
is
how
Superman, but
small
that's
Canelo
too
would be able
much.
to handle those shots, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And I think, sort of like something you've been saying too, like Canelo, he's so good. We've never seen him wobble, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
But I
yeah,
but I think biologically you hit a point where
yeah,
it's
yeah,
something
yeah,
just
yeah.
too much, man.
You know what? The crazy thing is that yesterday we were hearing reports that Tom Brown, and these are credible sources, by the way. These aren't no Like when I made these videos, yeah, these were credible sources. We're talking about Tom Brown, a guy very high up in the PBC. He's like a chief executive,
Right.
I believe. And he's saying that Canelo was offered 55 million to fight Errol Spence.
Yeah.
Now at 164. Now, what do you make of that?
Uh, so what you saying? What you saying? I mean, I think it's legit. Like you said, that's a credible source. I don't think
No, no, no,
you
no,
can't.
no. It's credible. What I mean is, what do you make of that whole thing? Like, why would they offer Spence? You know what I mean? When that Crawford, is it a way of Spence kind of cashing out? Do you give Spence a chance in that fight? At 164. How do you see it?
Yeah, well, Spence, I think he's top 10 pound for pound fighter.
Yeah,
So, I do think, you know, it's a little too much moving up in weight, but he's so good, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? I think it would definitely be a fight. I think he'd probably lose it, but I think it would be a fight, and I think that'd be the biggest fight in boxing, honestly. If that were
Oh
to
yeah,
pop up,
yeah,
everybody like would just drop the phone, like, okay, like we're
yeah.
gonna be watching that fight. That'd be the biggest fight, like, I don't know. And since I don't even know Floyd and Pacquiao, like I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be massive. But do you think that does about 1.5 million pay-per-views?
Yeah, I think it does, man. I think it does. I think, you're grabbing the Canelo fans and then
Mm,
you're grabbing the Spence, that side of the line type of fans. It would just
mm.
be like it would be crazy.
Huge, huge.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man, it'd be massive, man. That like Stephen brothers in the house. Walaikum salam, Stephen. I hope you're good. Stephen, man, Stephen ain't gonna like this. Stephen, Canelo Spence at 164. What's your thoughts? 164. Stephen's gonna be mad, trust me. Because Stephen hates these type of matchups, man. Oh, Stephen's gonna be like, nah, this is nonsense. But Stephen, Usyk and Canelo. They're talking about Usyk and Canelo at 200 pound, and Usyk has now called his bluff and said, "I'll come down to 200 pounds." That's unbelievable stuff. So let's see what these guys are saying, man. Jay Foreman, what's going on, Jay? I hope you're good, brother. Jay says Canelo already has his plate full trying to conquer 175. Usyk needs to focus on becoming undisputed, and Spence needs to fight Crawford. Yeah, I'd agree. What do you say about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, I think Canelo, he definitely has his plate full. I think, I was saying Bivol and Better Biev are two sides of an excellent coin. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
Canelo's going for greatness here. If he can, because Bivol, and I was just looking at, right before you hopped on stream, I was just looking at the CompuBox stats.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
Bivol's number one in plus minus. Like
yeah,
this dude plus minus, hit and not get hit is better than Shakur. He's better than Loma, and
yeah,
Granny,
yeah, 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 yeah.
like, and he's fought some credible dudes. Like you can't
Yeah, he
say his
has
resume is a
Pascal,
bunch of nobodies. Yeah,
Joe Smith.
right,
He's fought some decent. Yeah, he has. He has. He hasn't. He's not a bum. Like he's not fought bombs. He's fought some good names. You know what I mean? He has fought some decent. Not like anywhere near Canelo's level, but
right,
still, he's fought some. He's fought some solid competitors. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's not. He's not. He's not like Andrade. Like he's not fought guys like Andrade's been fighting of late. Like he's
right,
been fighting. He's been fighting decent competition. You know what I mean?
right.
We'll come on to Andrade as well, man, about him pulling out of the Parker fight and where he goes, because like he's kind of, I don't know, his career is kind of going down fast at this point. It's sad, really. It's sad, but he's falling apart at this point, in my opinion. He's got injured now, and apparently, apparently they're doing an MRI to see where he's at, because apparently it's a shoulder tear or something, man. But let me get Steven in. Steven,
Mhm.
What's cracking?
Steven, what's going on, brother?
How you doing? Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother. Walaikum salam. Yo, Steven, you must have been keeping up. The last couple of days have been crazy, man. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You you
Yeah,
you ain't
yeah,
liking this though. I know you ain't liking it. You hate this stuff. So
yeah.
yesterday, Steven, let me start in chronological order. Yesterday, a report was put out which just shocked me, and it probably shocked you. Tom
Mm-hmm.
Brown, a guy that works in the PBC, very high up, a very credible source, said that Canelo Alvarez was offered $55 million to fight Errol Spence. And he was offered $45 million to fight Jamal Charlo and $55 million to fight David Benavidez. So the Spence fight would have been at 164 at a catch weight, right? What do you make of that?
Man, I mean, if that's true, then he probably should have took that fight because, I mean, let's get it straight, man. Errol Spence, he's gonna be too small at 160. At 160 to 165, 164, he's too small for Canelo. So that would have been a good fight. I don't know if the information is true. That don't sound like it's true to me. Because $55 million, I'll fight Canelo.
No, but the thing is, no. That's 55 million for Canelo, not for Spence.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So
I don't know,
what
man.
I'm trying to say is what I'm trying to say is, Stephen, is that do you think that Errol Spence should have considered taking that fight? I'm pretty sure Errol would have got a career high payday as well, you know. But if that fight's offered to Errol, right? Because Errol's got Terence Crawford problems still. Let's be honest. He's still got Terence Crawford problems. He ain't cleaned up at his side. So why? So do you think it's a case where some people were saying that Errol's cashing out against Canelo because they're saying that he ain't gonna beat Canelo at 164? Is too much of a weight gap, right? So is it a case where PBC are cashing him out because they're worried that he may lose to Terence Crawford?
No, I don't believe that. I don't think so. I think realistically and I think logically, the next fight for Errol Spence isn't with anybody else in the world except for Terence Crawford. Nobody wants to see anything else. That's the fight that it should happen, and I think that's the fight that, you know, even a fight between Spence and Canelo is not going to garner as much fandom and as much pandemonium as a fight between him and Bud Crawford.
No,
So
You think so? Come on, no, Stephen, I gotta disagree there. Like, you think so?
I think so. I think Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. That's the biggest fight in boxing. That's the biggest fight since Mayweather Pac-Man.
I don't think D Money agrees with you, man. D, what are you saying?
No, man, it's just because Canelo, I agree, like stylistically and skill wise, yes, you know, like that's gonna be the Super Bowl, you know, when it happens. But if you bring Canelo's the biggest star in the sport. Canelo carries pay-per-views by himself. Canelo could be fighting you and carry pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? So when you put Errol Spence, who's also like a top 5 star in boxing, that's just gonna be huge. He might be, other than Canelo. Do y'all think Errol Spence is the second biggest star in boxing, like today, like right now, after the Ugas fight? And
you think he's bigger than Fury?
Okay, no, he's not bigger than Fury. But yeah, Canelo can't fight Fury, so
yeah. No, you never know. He's talking about fighting.
I disagree. I think the fight between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, it's a fight that even novel boxing fans want to see.
But Stephen, I don't think it does more than 500,000 pay-per-view buys. I don't think Errol Spence, Terence Crawford does more than 500,000 pay-per-view buys. I believe Errol Spence and Canelo does 1.5 million.
Easy.
I think Terence Crawford, Terence Bud Crawford, and Earl the Truth Spence Jr. I think the fight is gonna do way more, far more than 1 second.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Terence isn't the star that Canelo is the issue.
I don't know.
Like a talent, but he's not he don't have the star power that Canelo has.
No, he doesn't, man. He's not a pay-per-view star. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the problem. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that paper. I know what Steven's saying though.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the term word of mouth? Word of mouth spreads like wildfire. You don't even have to know about a certain subject, but just because you hear about it, it's just like when you go to that restaurant that you ain't never heard of. I mean that you ain't never been to, but you heard good things about it. So what do you want to do? You want to go try out the new restaurant. It's word of mouth. It's all on ESPN. It's all on Sky News. Everybody everybody's gonna be watching that fight, man. That's the biggest fight. That's the
Yeah,
biggest
I
fight.
do, man. I want to see that fight badly, Stephen. I want to see Crawford Spence badly, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget for some reason. I don't think it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it
It's
gotta
gonna
happen.
happen.
It
I hope
gotta happen.
so.
It's gonna happen. You heard what EJ said. EJ said, you know what? He said, man, listen. I told you what I was gonna do. He said, I'm gonna clean up my side of the street. Then I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna deal with you, TC. He said,
And
listen,
let me tell you what Crawford said, Stephen.
Okay.
Crawford said, I'm gonna destroy Spence, and then I'm gonna go bleep up Charlo. Right? Terence Crawford ain't playing no games. He goes, I'm gonna put hands on both of those guys.
He ain't playing no jailhouse games, but let me tell you this. I guarantee you. Listen, I could almost bet my life on this. Earl Spence, he gonna stop. He gonna stop Bud. He gonna stop.
Possibly.
Bud is not leaving that. He's not leaving that ring unscathed. He gonna leave stop. Word
I
of
don't
mother.
know, man.
I don't know, man.
Word of mother. He gonna
I'm
leave.
not sure, man. I'm not sure. It's a tricky one. It's 50-50 for me. 50-50.
And especially and listen. Jamel more of a savage, more of a hoss than EJ is. So how
Yeah.
gonna go and challenge somebody like him?
But
Come on, man.
he could have. Like my brother. I was having an argument with my brother today about it, and my brother was like, "Nah, man, Jamel Charlo ain't on Crawford's level. Like Crawford would outbox him. He'll school him." Do you know what I mean? So there are people out there that think Crawford would beat Charlo, like because Charlo can
Jamel,
be outboxed. He can be outboxed. He got outboxed by Harrison, but it just depends. If Jamel Charlo lands one on Crawford's chin, it could be game over.
I mean, listen. Terrence Crawford's his defense at time is suspect. Okay, his defense at time is suspect. If he get caught by Jamel Charlo, he going night. He going night. Listen, I'm telling you, man, y'all gotta stop believing the hype. Y'all gotta stop believing what people say. Listen, I could talk tough. I could say, listen, I go out there and I could say that I'm gonna beat this person, that person. But you know what? What's really going on? What are you really capable of doing? You think he capable of standing in there with Jamel Charlo for 12 rounds? Jamel Charlo, he done fought good boxers. He fought Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison's a gangster. He'll kill him. You know,
Tony Harrison
beat him
ain't
though,
Bud Crawford,
Stephen. He
man.
beat
That's
him.
not
Tony
Bud
Harrison
Crawford.
beat him.
Come on.
Tony Harrison beat him though, man.
And he did beat him.
He beat him the first time.
Right.
And then what happened the second time?
So
He
don't
went
you think Crawford's better than Harrison? Don't you think Crawford's better than Harrison, Stephen?
No, I don't think that. I think Tony Harrison is a real good boxer. I think if you put them at the same way, I think Tony Harrison is he got the skills to pay the bills. And
Yeah,
that's just
you a hater, man. Steven, you a hater of you a Terrence Crawford hater.
No, I tell you what, Stephen is. Stephen's a Spence. He's Spence like
hold
Spence,
on,
man.
Well, hold on, Imran. Let me address him. Since
Yeah.
we on and he called me that. How do you determine I'm a hater?
Man, there's no way that you really in your heart, you watching Terrence Crawford, you think that Tony Harrison is a better boxer than Terrence Crawford. There's just no way. There's just no way.
First of all, don't tell me what's in my heart. Don't tell me you can't tell me what I think. And secondly, look, man, I've been watching boxing a long time. So I'm going off of skill level. Tony Harrison is up there with the best of them. What are you talking about, man?
What way is he better than Bud? What way is he better than Bud?
Have you seen him? Listen, if you haven't seen him box, there's no reason for you to talk.
The Tiger.
For me to talk to you.
No, I've seen him. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so if you seen the box, then obviously
I
you would
seen him. I
know.
seen him when he beat him the first time. I seen him when he beat him. When he beat him the first time when he beat Jamel.
Right, right.
Right.
So if somebody has the skills to beat Jamel Charlo, what makes you think he can't beat a smaller,
No, but
a naturally smaller Terrence Crawford?
no, but
But you
I say
said at the
pound for
same
pound
weight
though.
though,
It's
Steven.
the same weight. Right, right.
He's not a better box. He's not a better boxer. He's not a better boxer. If you did put them at the same weight, right? If Crawford and
Tony Harrison
Harrison were
can
the
box
same
his ass
size,
off, dude. Tony Harrison
I
can
seen
box his
Harrison. No, I
ass off,
seen
dude.
Harrison, but bro, Steven, Crawford is pound for pound number 2 in the world. He's
Yeah,
after
right. That's what
Canelo.
I'm
People think
saying.
he's the next, like he's the second best in the world.
Like Tony Harrison ain't never been undisputed nowhere, man.
No,
Like
I
if you
mean,
even if you say Jamel Charlo, that's a stretch, right? That's a stretch,
first of
but
all,
at least you'd have a case.
but first of all, they fight at two different weight classes. See,
Yeah.
I go off of weight classes. I go off of weight classes and your opponent within that rank. Terrence Crawford ain't beat nobody. He really haven't beaten anybody aside from say
Sean
Sean
Porter.
Porter. And
Yeah.
how good was Sean Porter when he fought him
He's pretty good. I
at
mean,
welterweight?
I mean, him and
And
Spence, like
that's
that
what
was
I'm
a
talking
fight.
about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all watch news. Y'all watch these sports analysts, and you don't think for yourself. You don't think for yourself. You don't see his flaws. You ignore his flaws because everybody else is saying that Terrence Crawford is the pound for pound best fighter or second best. You don't really judge it off of what you can calculate in your mind.
So
And then
for
you
me,
gonna sit here and call me a hater.
Stephen, I'd say Usyk should be number 2 because of what he's done lately. He beat the heavyweight unified. He became unified heavyweight champion, and he's obviously more like he's at cruiserweight. He cleaned it out, and the fighters at cruiserweight were tough, right? But you
Right.
can't honestly. But skill for skill, Terence Crawford can go orthodox, southpaw. He's fast. He can
Man.
punch. He can do everything, man. What is it Crawford can't do? What is it that you see that you think that is weakness?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that Terrence Crawford is a bad fighter. I'm not saying that he is a skill, but what I'm saying is that, with respect to Tony Harrison
Yeah.
and Bud Crawford, Terrence Crawford, they're equally skilled. Tony Harrison can box. Man, he can box his ass off, dude.
So Tony, you're not saying you're gonna take it back. Tony Harrison, pound for pound, is not better than Crawford.
No, I mean not pound for pound, but he but not no, he's not pound for pound. I don't even think Buzz pound for pound. I don't think Buzz pound for pound.
Like
I
top
don't think
five,
Buzz pound for pound.
top
Well, what do you
10.
mean, like pound for pound, like top 10,
What are we
top
saying?
5? You don't think? So is Shakur top? So is Shakur Stevenson top pound for pound?
I'm
Yeah,
Shakur.
lost.
pound for pound, top pound for pound.
So you think Shakur is, but not Crawford?
Yeah.
But who's
Okay.
Shakur beat though? Shakur's beat Valdez, who was a smaller guy, and he beat Jamel Herring, who was washed up. He
You
hasn't
know
beat
what?
no one.
I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna think I'm
Yeah,
tripping, but
yeah.
Shakur Stevenson Shakur Stevenson is so good that's gonna be
Yeah.
hard. It's gonna be hard to put him in there with anybody. He gonna outbox anybody in there with
Oh no, man.
What do you
anybody.
think he does what he did to Valdez to Lomachenko?
Right.
Yes.
No way.
No
Steven,
way,
do you think he
man.
can outbox him like that
There's not
easy?
a chance.
Wait. Just wait. The best thing to do, man. The best thing to do because y'all. I mean, it's like, man, it's like that movie with Tom Hanks and Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. Okay. The best thing to do is I want to see some of these fights happen. I
Yeah, yeah.
guarantee. I
I agree
guarantee.
there. I agree.
All right, wait. I got a question. So is Arrow where is Arrow top 10 pound for pound? Is Arrow pound for pound? Is he better than Bud Arrow Spence?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Errol's
Now,
in the
did you
blood.
see Errol? Did you see Errol go against Sean Porter?
Yeah, I,
Okay. Did you see Bud go against Sean Porter?
yeah. So what are we
Which
getting at?
one was a better performance?
I mean, Terrence Crawford was better because
Right.
Sean Porter said he stopped the fight.
No, but
Sean Porter,
he
Sean
got
Porter was
dropped, man. He was getting battered.
listen. Sean Porter. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Sean Porter was actually lose. I had him losing that fight
Yeah.
until the knockdown. He was losing that fight.
Who was
That
losing
wasn't
the
the
fight?
same fight with Earl.
He means Crawford was losing the fight.
Crawford was
Yeah.
losing the fight to Sean Porter before the knockdown?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Imran.
Don't okay
Yeah.
me like I'm stupid.
No, you're
Go
not
watch the
stupid,
fight,
bro,
dude.
but I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I don't know about
That's
that,
what I'm
man.
saying, man. Listen. I'm gonna stop talking to people who obviously ain't watching these fights, man. You gotta start watching these goddamn fights, man.
No,
If,
it
if
was
you if you
close.
want
It
if
was
you want
close.
to
It
get on
was
there,
close.
if
I'll
you
give
want
you
to
that.
take
It
the
was close. It was close. But Steven, man, Steven, the thing is like you're right about it was close. I'll give you that. It
He
was
said
close.
losing. He said he was
Crawford and
losing
Paul
the
was
fight.
doing better than expected, to be fair, right? And even Max Kellerman said that he made mockery of the odds, but he got the knockout in the end. That's what I mean. So Crawford pulled it out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he pulled it out.
no doubt about it. No. See, that's what I'm talking about, Imran. See, what you said is sensible. What you said
Yeah,
is that you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to say that that Sean Porter was winning the fight. I don't have
yeah.
to have that, but I at least want to know that you watched the fight and that you evaluated the fight. This guy is telling me like I'm stupid that like Terrence Crawford was outclassing him throughout the whole fight.
No,
You
he
gotta
wasn't. He
start
wasn't.
watching these
I
fights,
actually thought the
man.
performance
No,
wasn't
I didn't
that
say
good.
that either, but I didn't say that he was. You said he was losing the fight. So you're the first person that I've heard. I watched the fight. Like I watched a lot. Like you're the first person I said that said up until the knockdown, Terrence was losing the fight to Sean Porter. Now you didn't say it
Yeah,
was close. You said he
No,
was
it
losing
wasn't.
it. So
It
I was
wasn't.
like,
I don't
whoa.
think he meant it like that. I think what he meant is. I think what Stephen meant is that. I think it's probably wording. He probably got what he meant is that the fight was really close. It wasn't like
Okay.
Crawford was dominating the fight and beating the crap out of him. It was
Okay.
right.
close, and Porter could have been winning at that point. Do you know what I
He
mean?
could have
Okay.
been
Like
winning.
on
Okay.
points.
Okay. That's okay.
But
That's
then,
different.
but
I
the
misunderstood, dude. My
but
bad.
then the thing is, I think the point I made is that even whatever the regardless is that Crawford clocked him in the end and he did what he had to do. Do you know what I mean? So we have to give credit there because like Crawford got told that in the corner that you're behind or the fight's close, you got to go out, and in the next round Crawford went and stopped him. So the
Mm.
point I'm making is that is a sign of a great fighter that is able to adapt and adjust so quickly that he goes and just closes the show as soon as his corner tells him that you're behind in a fight. I don't know if you guys noticed that in the corner, Bomac or whoever it was told Crawford that you're behind here. You could be losing this fight. And then the next round he went and stopped him. You know,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, see. And Terrence is a game. He a gangster for that. He's a gangster for that. I salute him. I salute him all the way for doing that. But it I'd be remiss if I didn't say if I pretended like Terrence Crawford don't have a lot of flaws. He got a
Oh
whole
yeah,
lot
he
of
does.
flaws.
Yeah, he does. He does. He does.
Mm.
Yeah, he does.
And
Oh,
somebody like Earl Vince is gonna make him pay. He gonna make him pay.
you know, I'm picking Spence as well. Like I don't know. I said it. My brother disagrees. My brother thinks Crawford beats Charlo and Spence. He says he knocks Spence out. So
Uh-huh.
it's a matter of it's a matter of opinion, really. It's one of those fights. It's one of those fights. Do you like vanilla or do you like chocolate? Do you know what I mean? It's one of them.
Right.
You know, it's one of them. Like, which flavor do you like? It's not a stone cold it's not a stone cold fight. It's not a fight where I know what's gonna happen. You know, it's a 50-50 for me.
Right. And let me
Imran,
say this.
I'll be back. Imran, I'll be back, bro.
Yeah, no worries.
And let me say this too.
Yeah.
I want everybody to know that I'm not the typical guy. I don't go off of what everybody else is saying. I go off my own evaluations analysis, and I compute my own assessment. I come up with my own opinions as to who I think is great and and good fighters and so forth. And it's not always based on what everybody else is saying. See, the thing is, we get carried away with that, and that's why and that's why you have people like Floyd Mayweather's and all these people that people revere. It's because they create gods in these people. We make gods out of people, and you shouldn't do that with another man in the first place. Another man is not your god. You should worship, or you shouldn't. You should go off your own intelligence, and you should come up with your own shit. And if you ain't watching these fights, and if you saying that, if you got the nerve to say that I'm a hater or this, that, and the third, you ain't watching the fight, and you can't tell me that Terrence Crawford was dog walking Sean Porter. That wasn't the case. That fight was you could have went to anybody in America and the UK, and they would have had Sean. They could have easily had Sean Porter before the knockdown had him up on that fight, had him up
Mm-hmm.
on the scorecard. So
Mm-hmm.
don't try to play me. Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
be trying to play me, dude. Don't try to play me, man.
They're on you. They're on you.
Don't try to play me.
But Stephen, man, Stephen,
Mm-hmm.
well, let's hope that fight happens, eh? Let's hope that fight happens, yeah.
I hope it.
The Crawford Spence, we want that fight to happen, and then we'll find out. Do you know what I mean? But the
Right.
thing at the minute is just opinions. Do you know what I mean? But the thing is, Stephen, I've been pissed off just like you have with
Mm-hmm.
Tyson Fury. They're saying Tyson Fury is better than Ali, and I'm like, Muhammad Ali had 25 world title fights. Tyson Fury's had 5 world title fights. How is he better than Ali? How Muhammad Ali's got the best resume in boxing. So how is Tyson Fury better than? But people are saying that. So
Man,
people have bizarre opinions. This is what I'm saying, though, Stephen. That's wrong, right? That
that's
pisses me
wrong.
off because I'm a big, I'm a big Ali fan, yeah. And when I
Yeah.
hear people say that Fury's better than Ali, I'm like, where are these people getting these opinions? Like, what are they saying? It's ridiculous. Muhammad Ali had 25 world title fights. Tyson Fury's had 5, and Tyson Fury had 3 against the same man. 3 world title fights against the same man. Muhammad Ali had 25 world title fights. And some of those fighters that he fought were some of the greatest fighters, greatest heavyweights of all time. He fought Foreman, right? Who's one of the
Mm-hmm.
greatest heavyweights. Sonny Liston was a monster. He fought
Was a
Joe
monster.
Frazier. He fought
Yep.
Ron Lyle, Ernie Shavers,
Every
Ken
shave.
Norton.
Ken Norton.
The guy
Yeah.
fought killers, man. He fought killers. And then he had to put what he had to put with as well in his life. So
It's
you
like
ain't telling me that Tyson Fury is better than Ali. Like, come on. Nonsense.
right. It's almost like this in Red. It's like we just can't be satisfied with just giving somebody their just due credit. Now, what the reality of it is that Tyson Fury right now at this certain point of time in the
Yeah.
world, he's the greatest heavyweight in the world. He's a let's give him that. I can
Yeah.
give him that because it's true. But to
Yeah.
say that he's greater than Ali, that's putting too much on it. And that's my whole point. We put too much on a lot of shit, a lot of stuff all the time. And it kind of makes it like it kind of makes things funky to me. You can't overdo something. Don't go overboard with it. You're going overboard by saying that Tyson Fury is greater than Ali. Come on, man.
Yeah, here's the thing. So Hard Time says, Imran, how do you see Ali beating 6'9", 280-pound Fury? Tell us how that. So here's the thing. I don't want to go off like whether Ali would beat Fury because it's irrelevant because Ali's not here anymore.
There
Ali
you
don't
go.
fight anymore. Ali's from a
There you
different
go.
era. I'm talking about who was a greater champion in their time. Here's the thing. Steven just made a point there saying that Tyson Fury, he's giving him credit for being the best heavyweight of right now. I'm not even giving him that credit. I'll tell you why. Because he hasn't even faced Joshua or Usyk. He hasn't even faced Joshua or Usyk. So again, it's just opinion at this point because he hasn't even proven to be the best of this generation yet because he hasn't beaten Joshua or Usyk. If he beats Joshua and Usyk, a winner of that fight, I'll say yes, 100%. But you can't tell me, right, that Tyson Fury, it doesn't matter if Tyson Fury would have beaten Ali. It's a different. Ali fought 60 years ago. He fought 60 years ago. You know, the times have changed, science has come on, things have changed. So we can't really compare, okay, who would have won then or then. Like you could look, Sugar Ray Leonard may have lost to Floyd Mayweather. People ain't gonna like me saying this. All right. But if we're gonna go off, 30, 40 years ago, athletes get better. So that same narrative is with Floyd Mayweather and Sugar Ray Leonard. But because Sugar Ray Leonard was a sweetheart of you know, a lot of the American fans and Mayweather isn't, then that narrative gets spun that Sugar Ray Leonard would have beaten Mayweather. But if we're saying that Ali would have lost to Fury, yes, I'll give you that. Yeah, there was a massive size difference, right? But we don't compare people 60 years apart and say who would have won 60 years apart. What we compare is how great they were in their time. And for me, Ali in his time was far greater a champion than Fury is right now.
I agree. And I'm glad you said that to that person because, you know, just for somebody to hold on, just for somebody to even uh to even ask you, pose a question like that to you, that's a myopic. Y'all look this word up. That's a myopic way of thinking. There's such a myopic way of thinking. Thinking, okay, how will Ali handle that? That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Ali is old enough to be Tyson Fury's great grandfather. What are you? Some of these people be thinking. We talk about the greatness as it was, as it is right now.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more, man. I got really irritated. About that. Like, and let's be honest, right? Even Canelo, for example, right? Canelo right now is the greatest fighter in my opinion. Resume, even his skills are unbelievable, right? You can't compare him to Ali. Like, even because he hasn't got the greats around his era to be like Ali had so many. He had so many fighters that are, you know, all-time greats. So even Canelo to compare to Ali is difficult, right? And Canelo
Right.
is far at this point far more accomplished than Tyson Fury. Canelo's beaten how many world champions? I don't even know. I've lost
Yeah.
count, right? And
Right.
now he's fighting another credible opponent on Saturday, right? Which I'm going to ask you about in Bivol, which I think people are overlooking and don't really understand how good he is, right? And I've watched a lot of footage of Bivol and realized that this guy's a monster. You know what I mean? This guy is going to be very difficult for Canelo Alvarez.
Right.
It's not going to be an easy fight, you know, very difficult fight. So this is what people like. People just jump to conclusions, but they need to go and study the era and study how great people were in that time. You know,
Right.
like
It
I
ain't
said,
gonna hurt. It
go
ain't
on.
gonna hurt somebody. You know, it don't hurt somebody just to pick up a book or do a little research. It don't. You know, we become complacent and we rely on what everybody else says as a form of receiving information, receiving news, or receiving knowledge. Do some research yourself. Research some of this stuff. Don't be on here talking stupid. Don't be on here just talking silly and dumb like everybody else wants you to. Do some research on Ali. Do some research on you know some of these like Bivol for instance. Everybody's writing Bivol off, but Bivol is a gangster. He's a killer in there. But people just so lazy. They don't even want to. They don't want to go watch any Bivol. Because if you watched him, you would know that he ain't no pushover. He ain't no sucker. So,
That's a tough
but
fight.
everybody's saying that Canelo is going dog walk Bill. We'll see what happens.
Miguel, what's going on? You there? Yo, Miguel always has connection issues. I don't know what's up with Miguel's connection. Yeah, man. On Saturday, Stephen, I want to ask you. I want to ask you. We had a lot of fights lately, man. We had a lot of fights. Obviously, this one on Saturday, man. I'm looking forward to it. It's a big one, of course. You know, it's a massive fight. You know, obviously for the light heavyweight championship of the world. Bivol's been saying a lot of things. You know, Bivol's saying that you know, this is my division. You know what I mean? This is my division, and I can beat Canelo. Do you know what I mean? I know I can beat Canelo.
Right,
You know,
right.
he's not in the one where he's not in the slightest um in the slightest he's not phased by Canelo. But we
No,
know once Canelo gets in the ring, you know, Canelo starts letting them. Like I put a video out, keys to victory for Bivol. You know, I think Bivol needs to keep him behind the jab, and when Canelo gets close, I feel like he needs to grab a hold. You know what I mean? Because Canelo on the inside is you know, he's quite dangerous, man. You know, letting those body shots off against a bigger man.
yeah.
What do you think Bivol has to do, man? What do you think Bivol has to do? Because remember, you know, it's very difficult to beat Canelo because it's like we know that if it's a close decision, the chances are Canelo will be have his hand raised. So Bivol's gonna have to do a bit more. Do you know what I mean? He's gonna have to do a bit more than what he normally shows in order to get this W. So how do you see him? How do you see him approaching this fight?
Bivol gonna have to do just what you said. He's gonna have to keep Canelo behind that jab. And once Canelo tries to close out the ring and tries to close in on Bivol, he's gonna have to grab him, hold him, and turn him, and then hit him from angles. That's the way you're gonna have to beat Canelo,
Hmm.
because you're not gonna beat Canelo if you let Canelo get on the inside. If Canelo is able to cut off the ring and get you up against the ropes, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for you. Because Canelo could take punches. He could take punches. But you just gonna have to pepper him with that jab all night long. Pepper him with the jab. And use your jab and use your hooks. And grab him and turn Canelo. If you grab him and turn him, Canelo's not gonna be he's not gonna be able to reset his footwork, his feet that quick. So that's the way you gotta beat him. What you say? What you think, Imran?
Yeah, I'd have to agree, but I just think it's very difficult with Canelo because he walks you down. I feel like Bivol's gonna have to be able to hurt Canelo. If not, I think it's gonna be difficult. I think
Yeah,
he's gonna have a bit of power. Plant, Saunders, all these guys had no power, and he just battered them. Like in the end, like he gets to you. If Bivol can't keep Canelo off, it's a wrap, in my opinion.
it's
I
around.
think he needs power, man. He needs power. He needs some kind of power to keep him off. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. If he can't keep Canelo off him, it's gonna be a wrap. But I will say that Bivol was in there with Joe Smith.
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
you
yeah.
watch the fight? That was a
Yeah,
good
yeah,
fight.
yeah. But Joe Smith hurt him as well in the latter part of that fight.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm referencing Joe Smith is because Joe Smith is the closest uh is the most physical, rough, rugged fighter
Yeah,
Bivol
yeah,
fought.
yeah.
And I like the way he adjusted, because that fight was kind of touch and go for a minute. It was touch and go, but Bivol figured it out. I love Bivol. I like the way he fights, man. I
Mm.
think he I think he has a very high boxing ring IQ, and I think that he can possibly hurt Canelo because he's big enough to do it.
Mm-hmm. So B Water, my friend, what a name. Says Canelo, not Joe Smith. You can't put him in the same sentence. Stephen.
Be watching, my friend. I like that because I love Bruce Lee. I think you have an excellent username or whatever your name is. I love it, man. I wish I would have came up with that. But I'll pretend like my name is Bruce and I'm talking to you. Be watching, my friend. Um, no, I wasn't making a compare. I was just saying that in terms of the rough, rugged physicality, physical boxing game plan that Canelo's gonna bring to him, Bilbo has possibly already seen that in fighting somebody like Joe Smith. Joe Smith is he's a very rough, physical, you know, boxy type of guy.
Mm. Yeah, these questions are coming in thick. So, you have no. So, what's he saying? I understand. He goes. He goes. He understands. Be War, my friend, says he understands. He understands where you're coming from. I honestly, man, I saw Canelo's fight with Plant again, and how did you see that one going? Do you think that fight was competitive, Stephen?
Canelo and Caleb Plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was almost the same type of fight that said between Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford. The true champion won those fights. The true champion that is Canelo, Saul Alvarez, and Terrence Crawford. They won those fights, but they were competitive
Mm.
fights up until up until the knockdown.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Miguel, are you there now? Miguel. Oh man, he's not.
Miguel, where you calling from? You calling from Mars? You stay
Yeah, I don't know.
on the
Got no
moon?
connection, man. Miguel ain't got no connection. I don't know what's going on. So Scratch Your Cheek says, Imran, talk about Joe Smith and Arthur Beterbiev. Stephen, fire away. Joe Smith and Arthur Beterbiev.
I think that's a good fight. Scratch your cheeks. I don't like your name. Your name is kind of sus, but nonetheless. But I think that's a good fight. But I think somebody like what I'm saying, Arthur Beterbiev, man. I think he's pretty much. I think he's the best pound.
Yeah,
I think he's the best at 175. I don't see Joe Smith. I see Joe Smith get knocked out. Not
yeah,
getting stopped, but get knocked out. I think he gets knocked out.
yeah. I'd agree, man. I'd agree. Beterbiev is too strong. He's too
But
strong.
scratch your cheeks. Change that name, man.
Scratch. Scratch. What's going on, Hector? I hope you're good, brother. B Water, my friend, says, what you all think about Adrian Broner? What you all think about Adrian Broner? Comeback fight. He was a dog in his prime.
Hey,
Steven.
you know what? Imran. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
this, man. I listen. I know I'm probably finna get fried for it, but I never thought it was. I never thought Adrian Broner was a killer. I never thought he was a killer. And frankly, to be honest with you, I'm kind of annoyed with him. I'm kind of frustrated with Adrian Broner. You know why? Because he won't go away. He won't go away.
Yeah.
He just comes back to boxing whenever he gets broke or whenever he wants attention. We got to stop giving these clowns attention. You know what I'm saying? Adrian Broner was never, he was never really no killer like that. He so what? He beat Paulie. He beat Paulie Malignaggi. He but I just think that it was a lot of hype associated with him, and then he was very very charismatic, and so he captured the hearts and minds of a lot of boxing fans because people want to see that. People want to see you sell yourself. It's not like watching Tony Harrison or Jamel Charlo or somebody like Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, some of those guys. Those guys, they have personality. The guys like Earl Spence, Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, Oleksandr Usyk, they don't have no personality. They
No,
ain't got no personality. You know what I'm
no.
saying? But that's what drew you to Adrian Broner. It wasn't the fact that Adrian Broner was really, really just a straight up killer in there.
Mm. But here's the thing, though, Stephen. Maidana ruined him. Let's be honest. Maidana ruined him. You know what I mean? Do you
He
think
ruined
that was the first time he came up against a proper fighter when he fought Maidana?
him. No, I think Paulie
Yeah,
was.
Paulie
I
was.
think I think I think some of his people, most of his opponents were were good were good fighters,
Mm.
but uh uh Maidana was just like Maidana. There hasn't been a fighter quite like Maidana since Maidana.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, Maidana was giving Floyd Mayweather.
He was,
You know what I'm
man.
saying? So I think the closest guy to Maidana, I think I've seen here in recent moment is Isaac Cruz.
Yeah. I'd have to agree. Yeah, yeah,
I say Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz is a gangster. Isaac Cruz
yeah. He
is
is.
a killer, boy. He's a
Yeah,
killer, boy. Straight up killer.
he is. Does he beat Ryan Garcia?
Man, I think he stopped Ryan Garcia, man.
He's a monster, man. I don't know whether Ryan could. I don't know whether Ryan could handle that ferociousness. You know what I mean?
Right. I actually think he stops Ryan Garcia. If I'm Ryan Garcia and if I'm concerned with my legacy and my record, I'm staying away from Isaac Cruz.
Hmm. Gator says you guys are acting like Maidana was an all-time great. Maidana, like no, an all-time great. He was a great fighter, though, man. He was a good fighter, no doubt about it.
And here's the thing too, man. Here's the thing too. All right, was Maidana was he the greatest fighter that ever existed? No, but come on, man. Let's just face it, man. That dude was a true beast. He's you know what I'm saying. People like him, Diego Corrales, Jermaine Taylor, those type of fighters, man. Those fighters were beautiful for boxing because they didn't predicate their whole success off a flawless record. They could take an L and still get get you good. They didn't cheat you, is what I'm trying to say. When you cut on the TV and you see Marcos fighting, Marcos gave you your money's worth. And to me, that's greater than a fighter that's strategically picking out his fights.
My brother Makai's in the house. Steven, this is for you. Thanks for the super chat prime times. He says Cruz beating Gamboa doesn't make him a killer, bro. Steven.
Did you see him in there with Javante, man?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Isaac Cruz is a killer.
Yeah, he's a bad boy, man. He's a bad boy. There's no doubt about it. He's a bad boy. You know, I actually think that fight was close.
I do too.
That was razor close. That one.
That's
Makai,
it.
what do you think?
You know, it was so close, man. What's up, Makai? I'm gonna let Makai take it in a minute. But that fight was so close that I don't think Tank should take another fight with him, man, because that's gonna be a dangerous fight for Tank.
For sure. I'd have to agree. What do you think, Makai?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Good.
What's up, man?
What do I think about what? Sorry?
Isaac Cruz and Javante.
I don't even know my scorecards for that fight. I'm pretty sure I might have had Cruz ahead.
You had Cruz ahead?
I might have. That was a very, very close fight. You know, Davies, I felt he was landing the cleaner shots.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Isaac Cruz, he was killing to the body, being the aggressor. But, you know, Cruz, what him and his trainer actually worked on leading up to the fight was to block Davies' counter uppercut. Remember, he kept on every time Davies would throw it, would Isaac Cruz would get his arm up a little and he would just block his chin. It wouldn't actually like connect to him. But watching the fight live, you would think, you know, Davies was landing, and then when you actually watch back, he wasn't actually like landing a lot of those punches. They were all coming off Isaac's gloves because that's what they worked on through training camp, and it worked. Yeah.
You know, what do you call it? Steven, just a quick question. Maidana, H is asking, do you think Maidana was a future Hall of Famer? I don't know. There's many guys in the Hall of Fame that don't deserve to be there. Maidana had a good resume, man. And Maidana was in some fun fights, man.
Hey, man, Maidana, listen, if Maidana if he don't make the Hall of Fame, then that'd be a travesty. That'd be a real travesty in boxing. He deserved to be there. If anybody deserved to be there, Marcos McDonough, he deserves to be there.
Even, do you remember his fight with Amir Khan?
Yeah, I remember that, man.
That was fight of the year for 2010. You know that?
Yeah. You know what, man? I'm still not sure.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Amir was a gangster too. He was a killer too. And that just shows you how good Amir was.
Yeah, in his prime. Yeah, that was his prime years, though, isn't it?
That was a dangerous fight.
Yeah, that was a lot of people thought he'd duck it. Do you know what I mean? Because they thought that, you know, Maidana would knock him out. That was a wicked fight, man. That was a wicked fight.
That's the same identical fight between Cruz and Ryan Garcia. It's the same identical fight.
I don't know though, man. I don't know whether Ryan Garcia moves like Khan though, eh?
I don't think Garcia has a heart. I don't think Garcia has a heart like Khan.
Yeah,
I think when he'll get tough, he'll crumble.
But I think it's of a lesser skill level. I don't think Garcia is as talented as Khan, and I don't think Cruz is as good as Maidana. So it's kind of like same level. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, let's just say it's the do y'all like over here in America we got generic brands. We got say we got we got Kraft and then we got Best Choice. So Best Choice, that's the Best Choice version of Amir and Maidana. That's the poor man's version.
Yeah. well, B Water, my friend, is Steven saying Amir Khan is a clown. He ducks Adrian Broner his whole career. Come on, that's not.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, bud.
You know, B Water, man. Listen, man. I already done gave you props on your name, man. It's a great quote by one of the greatest people that ever lived, that ever breathed a breath. That was Bruce Lee. But now you trolling. You have to change your name in a minute, man.
Yeah, that was a. But this is what I mean, Stephen. A lot of those guys don't like. You know, we don't even talk about them that much. Like, you know, like you got guys like Maidana, Lucas Matisse, you know, Lamont Peterson. You know, all these guys, and were serious fighters, man. I remember back in the day, like Khan's fight with Lamont Peterson, that was a killer fight. You know, guys, man. We don't even mention these fights. Do you know what I mean? Like, for epic fights.
Epic fights, man. Winky Wright and Shane Mosley.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that was.
Fernando Vargas and De La Hoya. See, people don't listen, man. I hit you with that, man. The Fernando Vargas, De La Hoya. That's man. Listen, man. I done watched some good boxing in my day. A lot of these cats are young cats, and you can't tell these young cats nothing. But I'm telling you, man. Like, listen to Imran. Knowledge to y'all, man. Some of those fights, some of those fights, they don't get the recognition now because we live in a "what have you done for me lately" type of time. But I'm telling you, man, Marcos McDonald, man, he was the truth. He was the business. Remember Chris Garcia?
Yeah. You know. Like, no, we only talk about like the top. We only talk like about Canelo, and you know, like Canelo, for example. Everyone loves to talk about him because he's the best. Crawford, Spence, because they're the top guys. But some of these old guys, I reckon, would have given these guys problems, man. Like, Maidana would have given Spence and Crawford tough fights, man.
Maidana and Spence, that would have been an epic fight.
Yeah, Maidana and Spence would have been a great fight. Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, great fight that.
You know, it's not necessarily about who wins and loses all the time. It's about giving us great fights. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So it's yeah, man. It's about who gives us great fights, and that's some fights that you know. Some fights like I remember, man. I remember certain fights like Joshua Klitschko. Everyone's hating on Joshua now. That was a wicked fight, man.
That was. I might go home and watch that fight, man. Every time we talk, man, we always talk about a fight, and then I end up watching the fight.
Yeah, man. That Like, a lot of Canelo fights of late have been pretty boring because he just beats everyone so easy. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think Saturday will be boring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it.
I think it's going to be an epic fight. That.
So prime time. Thanks for the super chat. He's asking you guys, man. He's saying, "Can I get all your thoughts on Lopez Senior trying to discredit Kambosos' win by saying his son wasn't 100% and couldn't breathe?"
Yeah, it's just Lopez Senior. I mean, when people wonder why Teofimo Lopez was so deluded with things he would say, that's literally the reason right there. It's his father. He has him as his trainer and everything. They're with each other every day. He just, what's the word? Spreading him nonsense, basically. It's just, it's just ridiculous. I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth.
Right. Instead of taking the high road and going out like a G, like a G, and saying, hey, you know what? You know what I'm saying? You did your thug thistle. You did your thing, man. And I'm out fair and square. Instead of doing that, they acting like some sore losers. They acting like some sore losers. And so that you know what I'm saying? His pops is always saying something.
Yeah.
His pops is always saying something. And Teofimo's a clown too to me. Give that man his props, man. He came in there, he beat you, dude. He beat you.
It's just now it's just bitterness. I mean, look at where Lopez is. We don't know what's going on with Lopez. You've got Kambosos fighting Devin Haney in his own country.
They're talking about fighting Josh Taylor, aren't they?
What would that be at? Well, that would of course be at 140, right?
Yeah. But both guys, Josh Taylor's lost a lot of. I know he didn't lose a fight, but he's kind of like no one's talking about Josh Taylor in the same light as they were.
Yeah.
Because they thought he lost to Cattrall.
Yeah.
He definitely lost to Cattrall. Do you know what I mean? Did everyone have him losing to Cattrall that fight?
Did everybody what now?
I think everyone had him losing. He
he was losing that fight.
But with Josh Taylor, I mean, if he actually did fight Lopez at 140,
yeah,
Lopez, right? If we're talking about a healthy Josh Taylor, he destroys him. But how Taylor looked last fight, anyway, like he looked like the weight cut really destroyed him. Like in his next fight, if he stays at 140, like there's no way he's gonna get there. He's gonna have a healthy weight cut. He's getting. The guy's massive for his weight. He has to move up. He's been saying it for his last 3 fights now. Actually, that he's thinking of moving up, and I think he just should move up. He shouldn't fight Lopez at 140 because he very well could lose that because he could be the weight cut could really effective. He'll be effective. He'll be drained and everything, and Lopez he'll be fresh.
Yeah, I'd agree, man. I'd agree. I have to agree with Makai there.
Yeah, I really don't like the fight.
Lopez might win that one. If he stays, especially the way he looked against Cattrall, it was kind of concerning.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts then, man? Makai, Saturday night, you got a big one.
I'm confident Bill will get the better of him, but will he get the decision? Who knows? See that's the thing. Well, in reality, I feel Bibble's going to win, even if he don't get the decision. We know how it is with A-sides and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel Bibble will get the better of Canelo. But Canelo's Canelo. He can surprise me and knock him out.
So, yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. What? Let me ask you, Makai, because you weren't here earlier on. We were talking about Spence. So apparently, there's reports that Canelo got offered Spence at 164 for 55 million. What do you make of that? What do you make of that?
That's just ridiculous. Getting Canelo the A side to cut down to 164 catchweight to fight Spence. I mean, what makes you think Canelo can make 164 healthy? He definitely won't be able to. And the fight just makes no sense. Spence, he needs to fight Crawford. That's the fight. Okay, that's the fight. You know, and I'm seeing, Canelo's ducking Spence comments. It's just, it's just ridiculous. I mean, what you're saying, Canelo's ducking a welterweight to fight a light heavyweight in Bivol. I mean, let's just say this: who wins, Bivol or Spence, if they fought? Bivol, right? Clearly. So, it's just, that's a terrible fight. I'm happy, Canelo didn't take that fight. Yeah, so I'm happy he didn't take that fight.
And the other ridiculous thing is apparently Oleksandr Uysk now, Canelo said he wants to fight Oleksandr Uysk at 200 pounds.
Did Eddie say that? He said that?
Yeah, Eddie said that. And then Oleksandr Usyk's team manager has got in touch with Canelo's team and said that we're willing to come down to 200 pounds to fight Canelo.
Jesus,
are they calling Canelo's bluff? If Canelo actually believed and said that.
If Canelo, I highly doubt he actually said that. Eddie loves to talk nonsense sometimes. But if Canelo actually really, really said that, there is no way in hell, he's being Usyk. I'm saying he might be Bivol, but that's still a 50-50 fight. Canelo can absolutely beat Bivol, but there's no way he's being Usyk. No way. He's not going to beat Usyk. Usyk would destroy him.
Silly fight anyway, man. That's a silly fight anyway, man.
Yeah,
it's not even
real. It's like Canelo
fight.
Spence. It's a silly fight.
But here's the thing, though, Stephen. Would you be against that if that fight got made?
I probably wouldn't even watch it because it's a mismatch, man. It's a mismatch. Usyk is like two Canelos. He's like a Canelo and a half. Come on, man.
And Usyk, he's a lot bigger than him, and he's so much more skilled.
But here's the thing, guys. If they make it at 200 pounds, will Usyk be drained? Will he put a rehydration clause on? This is what I'm saying. These are the things that could he handicap Usyk to a point where he could beat him.
Well, if he does, then if he puts weights on Usyk's boots or something, then he very well could win. Usyk won't have the foot movement or anything. He can beat him then. But maybe.
Do you think it would be right though? Do you think it would be right to put rehydration clauses on because to make the fight?
No. Because if you put a rehydration clause and if you fighting the emaciated Usyk, you don't need to be fighting him in the first place.
Yeah.
You don't need to fight him.
Yeah.
If you want to be great, you have to do the great thing. Yeah, you have to move up, not do a rehydration clause or anything. I mean, Canelo, he hasn't used a rehydration clause in years now, which is good to see. So that's good to see there. But yeah,
I agree, man. That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. If Canelo does
nobody wants to nobody wants to see Usyk out there looking like an AIDS patient fighting Canelo.
Here's the thing, though, Stephen. Porter beat Usyk, didn't he?
In the amateurs.
Yeah.
And the thing is though with
Terence Crawford in the amateurs.
Yeah, but Ugas and Terence Crawford. If Ugas beats Terence Crawford, it's not like a shock, so to speak. But Porter beating, Ugas and Crawford are kind of similar size. Or obviously Ugas is bigger, but Porter and Usyk, I don't know how they fought.
I don't need them, man. They were both young, so maybe Usyk was a lot smaller back then, a lot shorter.
Yeah, been, man.
Maybe he didn't hit his grown man size back then. But I know right now.
Yeah.
The guy's actually a cruiserweight. The Usyk's actually a cruiserweight now because of the war. He obviously lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he's lost weight,
I'm really surprised that fight's happened still. I mean, credit to Usyk, man, for coming for coming out of the war to fight Joshua. I mean,
I think he'll
he might
beat
not even be there mentally. I'm not making excuses for it, but like he probably won't be there like
I don't see.
mentally, man.
I don't see him beating. I don't see Joshua beating Usyk, man.
Yeah, I still don't think Joshua wins. That's how highly I rate Usyk.
I think Usyk is too good, man. I think Usyk is too good.
Yeah,
It depends
Usyk
on
might be
what it depends on which Anthony Joshua comes out there. If Anthony Joshua, I say if Anthony Joshua comes out there, optimal, to his, optimum capability, I think Joshua got a good, what I'm saying. I give him all the chances in the world to beat him.
Hmm. But Stephen, you said I remember you said after the fight that Anthony Joshua, there's something missing with him. You know what I mean? There's something not right. I remember you made those comments. What do you mean? Like, what did you mean by those comments? Like, there's something missing. Do you think there's something not there mentally? Like,
Right, his self confidence and his
yeah,
his 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 questioning of his own ability, his
mm,
inability to, his lack of courage.
mm,
His mind plays a part in his outcome a lot, and he's very weak upstairs.
mm.
I don't feel he's got the hunger either. I mean, when you're getting like 100 million in your bank every fight, he's getting these sponsorships and all that. He's living in these big houses. Like your hunger's just not there like it would be.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. He does train pretty hard, though. He does train like a beast. I don't
I
know.
mean, yeah, true. I mean, you've
Something.
got guys like Canelo still, I guess.
Yeah, there's something not right with him. Like, there's something not. There's something missing. Like with his. I don't know. There's something not right with like Steven's right. Something mentally just not right with him. And I think he kind of. I don't know. He almost falls apart at times. You always know that Joshua's capable of falling apart. Like he did it against Ruiz. He almost came apart against Usyk. I don't know with Joshua. It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one.
Yeah, it's a bit like this. When Joshua fights, even when he fought Pulev, I thought he would win, but something in the back of my head still saying Joshua could get knocked out.
Yeah.
He could very well get knocked out. I'm just not confident in his mind, his ability to take a punch. It's just stuff like that, really.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I'd have to agree. I think there's something, missing with Anthony Joshua. I don't know what it is. But yeah, he needs to be more aggressive against Usyk and see if he can get the win. Otherwise, it's going to be tough for him because Usyk he's the real deal. Do you know what I mean? He's not coming to mess around.
Yeah.
He's coming to outbox you, and then he was really dominant in that first fight. So yeah, hopefully we get that fight on. And then yeah, man, on Saturday's big talking point, man. It's a big fight. I can't wait. I can't wait for it, to be honest.
Big fight.
It's the first time I think Canelo could actually lose a fight in a long time.
It's making me think, man. I just, I can't see how Canelo is going to get in the inside as easy as he usually does. Because Bivens got the foot movement. He's got that pepper in jab, if that makes sense. He's very good at countering when people, it reminds me of Joe Smith, Gene Pascal. They come in, lunge in, try and attack him. Biv will use his feet, X out, counters, stuff like that, little stuff like that. I don't know, man. I just see Canelo getting popped constantly every time he tries coming in.
I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to find out a lot about. A lot. Reddish KC says he feels that this may be controversial, but personally, I think AJ will KO Usyk in the rematch. Possibly, who knows?
I mean, he's a big guy. He's capable of knocking someone out. I mean, it's heavyweight boxing as well. It can happen. Maybe it's just I wouldn't bet on it though. I definitely wouldn't bet on it.
No.
Like Usyk in going into this fight, he won't be mentally like he was the first fight probably.
Mm.
That's not me making excuses. I mean, he was just in war. He was just at war and everything. And you know the multiple interviews he's already had saying it's like it's destroying him and all that.
Mm.
He's still not like mentally there. So he's actually telling us, but I still think he'll beat Joshua.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think
Yeah.
he's just too skilled. I think he's too skilled, and I think I agree. I think he'll beat him as well. But yeah, if Canelo does win on Saturday, right? What next?
Well, he's fighting Golovkin, isn't he?
Yeah,
September, right?
are you happy with that?
I'm excited. 2 Hall of Famers going at it again in the trilogy. I'm
Mm,
excited for that fight.
What do you make of people saying that? Well, Golovkin will get stopped. He didn't look good against Murata. What do you make of that?
You know, those first 3 rounds that Golovkin had. Did we talk about the Golovkin fight? When was the last time you were live?
I think we did. Yeah, we can talk about it. Let's talk about the Golovkin.
I don't think I've even spoke about it. Yeah, no, Golovkin. You know, when you was watching the first 3 rounds, yeah, you was like, yeah, Golovkin's he's definitely old. He's definitely not the same. Like, you know, he was heavy breathing and all that. You know, I was getting a bit worried at times, if I'm being honest, in those first 3 rounds. But I think it was just a ring rust and everything, you know. And he's old, man. He is old. But after that, man, he just turned into a monster, absolute monster. Yeah. It's just after like 5 rounds, Murata just wasn't there mentally. He was just a punching bag. And credit to Golovkin, man, for going into someone's backyard still and getting about. I mean, yeah, Murata maybe wasn't the strongest champ, as everyone likes to say. Well, I mean, really, we don't know, but on most people's minds, Murata was the weakest. But you know, who else is doing that at the moment in the middleweight division? No one. He's Golovkin's still doing big things in that weight class, and he's like 40. He literally turned 40 the day before he fought Murata.
Yeah, he did. He did. Golovkin. Do you think Golovkin beats Charlo and Andrade?
I think he beats Andrade. I
Right.
think he beats Andrade, to be honest. I mean, Andrade, he's fight with Liam Williams, you know, stuff like that. I think Golovkin would, knock him out. I don't like it. I don't rate Andrade. The Charlo fight.
What did you make of him pulling out of the fight with Zach Parker? He's injured, isn't he?
Yeah, you know, I'm not going to say it was a fake injury. I think he might be injured. To be honest, I think he might. Because obviously, some people were saying he's
done. Do you think Andre's had his day?
Oh yeah, his career's over, mate. He's not even in the. I feel he's digressed. I feel him and Charlo have actually digressed. They're not actually as good as they used to be. Because I mean, it's what it happens when you're constantly fighting not good fighters. It happens when you constantly fight and you ain't got the hunger and everything. You just you just don't really, you know. I mean, Andrade, I don't know if he's in the gym all the time or anything, but it just looks like he's digressed. Or it might be the weight, maybe. He needs to move up. But with Charlo, you always see he's gained a bit of weight after camp. You know, he doesn't look like he's training. He doesn't look like he's in the gym all the time. Jamel, his younger brother, he's actually a gym rat. He's actually always in the gym training. So I give his brother credit for that. But Jamal, you know, he doesn't seem like he trains or not. It's more like a fat camp for him, if you know what I mean. So he's just losing the weight. He's not actually working on stuff. So that's why I feel they've both digressed. And when you're not fighting good fighters your whole career, it just happens. You need to have big fights, you know, good step ups to make you focus and stuff.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. You know, the other thing I wanted to ask you: who do you think wins the trilogy between Canelo and Golovkin?
Oh yeah, I think Canelo. You know what? I don't think Canelo's gonna stop him. Honestly, I don't. I really don't. I mean, let's not forget Canelo. He may have bashed up Callum Smith, but he went 12 rounds with him. He still went 12 with him. Golovkin, yeah, he will take a lot more risks than Callum Smith, obviously. But I mean, Golovkin, I don't think he's gonna get knocked out. I can't. You know, the guy hasn't even been dropped. He's in his career or in the amateurs. Like, it's just, I just can't it's hard for me to see Golovkin getting dropped or stopped.
Yeah, you're probably right, to be honest. You're probably right. It's probably going to be hard to stop someone like Golovkin. But Canelo definitely has got the power. You know, if Golovkin's weakened, you never know.
Yeah.
D Money's back. What's going on, D Money?
What's going on, man? Y'all figured out if Tony Harrison was better than Crawford yet?
No, well, 'cause Steven's gone. I don't know where's Steven off, but yeah. Basically, we were having a debate. Like, apparently, Crawford, Steven was saying that Tony Harrison can box like Crawford.
Well, he says that they box. Did he say they box the same?
No,
Is that
no,
what he's saying?
I think he. What was he saying? D Money again? I can't remember.
I mean, he had said that at first he had said that Tony Harrison wasn't better than, or he was better than Crawford. That came out. He said if they got in a fight, or he said Tony Crawford. Crawford was losing the who was that he was fighting? We were talking about him, Ron. He was losing the Porter fight until the knockdown. He said that. And yeah, he basically just said, yeah, he was like, Crawford's not even, yeah, I think he said he's not pound for pound. He said that Tony Harrison, just has, he's better, or they have like the same, or at the same level of boxing skills.
Well, it would have been better if he said Tony Harrison's better at certain things, something like that, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that he's all around better. You know what I mean? Crawford, he is a pound for pound fighter still. You know, he's a 3 weight classes. He definitely still is. I don't think he should be as high as they put him, though, if I'm being honest. But I don't think he was losing to Porter when they were fighting. I'm pretty sure I had him up. You know, Porter was winning the first, in the first half. But then Crawford, he found his timing and everything. Then I think he was edging it, and then he obviously stopped him.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with Makai's assessment there, for sure. Little Penny, you there? Little Penny? Oh, I don't know where Little Penny is. Michael, what's going on? Michael? Oh, Michael's gone as well. So Little Penny tried to come on and then he went off. Andrade, man, D Money. I want to ask you because I know you like talking about Andrade. Andrade, man, he pulled out of the fight against Zach Parker. What's going off with Andrade, D Money?
That was an injury, right?
Yeah, shoulder injury.
Yeah. I think it's fine, honestly. I think he's getting he's getting older. And he got an injury, and I think I don't think anybody was really super into the Parker fight.
Yeah, the Parker fight. No.
I forgot he was fighting Parker.
Yeah, I don't think nobody was really like, oh my goodness, that's gonna be such a big fight, crazy fight. I think it was not a mandatory, but it was since Parker had been the
eliminator. I think it was.
Yeah, it was like an eliminator. Yeah, they were forcing him to do it because I really think he wanted to fight Benavidez, which I still think he'll do. I think he'll get healthy and he'll just keep pushing to try to fight for that 168 mandatory spot for Canelo, and then he'll probably fight Benavidez up there, which I think is going to be a huge fight. And I think whoever wins that fight will definitely put themselves in a big position, I feel like, to be in position for Canelo. Because I don't know, I don't know how y'all feel, but it rubbed me the wrong way when Canelo went up there to 168, came, got undisputed, and then didn't fight Benavidez. He hasn't fought him yet.
He'll fight him eventually. I mean, Benavidez. I think people will be very surprised when they fight. Benavidez got a lot of hype on him and everything. I don't really rate Benavidez at all. I don't think Canelo's stuck him. A lot of people think he's scared to fight Benavidez. I can't see how. For being honest, I feel he's actually taking the tougher fight. He's moving up to lightweight to fight Bivol.
Yeah.
I feel that's the way tougher fight. But I mean, if he gets past Bivol and obviously Golovkin, I reckon Benavidez will be next. Benavidez or Charlo will be next. He'll probably do the PBC deal. So yeah, he'll eventually fight them. But I mean, it'll be good if they fight each other. It'll make
Is
it easier.
Benavidez the best at 168 except for Canelo? Y'all think?
Who else at 168?
Plant, Morel. There's
Callum moved up.
Morel, he's got.
When he was there.
Yeah, I can't see Morel. He's got a lot of hype in him and everything. Hasn't he only had like 6 fights? And people already thinking he can beat guys like Canelo and all that. Yeah, I don't see nothing, too great in him, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'll probably say Benavidez at the moment, probably.
Do you think Andrade can be a force at 168? There's not really many guys at 168, so we could do something.
I think easy, man. I think he would have beat Billy Joe personally. Like I think Andrade beat Billy Joe.
But Billy Joe wasn't really a 168, you know what I mean? He just got given a vacant title against a nobody. Makai, do you remember Billy Joe fought Shifat Asufi for that title?
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Billy Joe, he was a fat 160 pounder. You know what? If he actually, dedicated himself and everything, was in the gym all the time, he could very well been a 154 pounder.
Yeah, 100%.
Imagine how good he would have been at 154. Imagine if he was dedicated, he was actually in the gym. He was working, on his craft like guys like Canelo are doing, guys like Bivol, the guy he's fighting is doing. He would have been so much better.
Well, I'll say this. I think Billy Joe. I think Andrade was at 154, and Andrade's way bigger than Billy Joe, in my opinion. I think he's a bigger guy. He's taller. He's longer. I actually think he's massive as well. I think he's huge. So if Andrade can make 154, then Billy Joe can for sure. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I think he can. I think well, if he can beat Billy Joe, do y'all think? Hold on, one sec.
Billy Joe's done now, man. Billy Joe's done. Beating Billy Joe ain't gonna do nothing now.
No, I know, but I think because I think Andrade could have beat Callum Smith too. Back when he was still at 168.
I don't know. That's a very dangerous fight.
Yeah, that is a dangerous fight.
It's a close one, but I think Andrade could get. I think he can get that.
Yeah, he could outbox him. He could probably outbox him, but
he could, yeah.
But Smith is funny though, man. Smith is I don't know, Makai. What do you think of Smith?
Well, how he fought Canelo, it was ridiculous. How he fought Canelo,
and Ryder. What about the Ryder fight?
Yeah, Callum Smith. I thought he looked good against guys like Groves, and everything. But he's always been a little bit basic. I mean, that's the thing with these Gallagher fights. They're always a bit basic.
Yeah.
Smith, he's a dangerous fighter. He's got power. He's very dangerous, but he's not nothing special. He ain't got the skills that make
Bivol.
people,
Definitely.
He definitely has skills like Bivol.
Up to 175, right?
Yeah. He looks very strong there, but I mean, he still looks the same. He still looks the same, man. I mean, he's just more powerful. That's it, and more healthy because he's obviously he's cutting less weight. That's it, really.
So so who's this? Chaplin says Andrade could beat everyone, and yet I think he's obviously saying that Andrade's not fought. He's not fight. Times might flying by for Andrade, man.
Yeah, but Andrade's
35 now, eh? He's 35.
Yeah, he's up there. But this is one thing I'm gonna say too, because everybody comes at Andrade and says, Andrade, he hasn't fought nobody and stuff like that. If it was up to Andrade would have fought in Canelo, Triple G, Charlo, like he would have fought all these guys. Like, it's speculation to say, he wouldn't have, but it's hard for me to believe that, he's just whining that he can't get fights, but he actually is not trying to get fights. Like, he's actually, not doing anything to get these fights. Like, I think he really wants him, but people got to realize people have to agree to fight these guys. You know what I'm saying? These guys can't just, oh, okay, I want to fight this guy, so okay, let's sign the contract. Like people have to agree. You know, people were saying, oh, Andre should just move. He should have moved up to 168, and that way he would have been in position to fight Canelo. Well, there's no guarantee that those dudes would have signed off to fight Andre. You know what I'm saying? There's no guarantee that they would have said, hey, yeah, I want to fight Andre and give him a belt. Like, no way, you know? And I feel like Canelo, all those guys knew they were going to lose to Canelo, but it's just like, hey, you know, I'd rather give up my hope for a huge payday to Canelo than anything else. Not giving it to Andre.
I know Charlo ducked Andre. I mean Charlo ducks everyone. Let's be honest, but
Yeah,
I know he ducked Andre the $7 million offer, right? Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. With Golovkin and Canelo. I mean, yeah, Canelo won. You know, I can see why people would think that, but when you actually go through what actually happened, it would make a bit more sense. But Golovkin, I mean, I can't really see how Golovkin's ducking Andre. And I mean, Andre doesn't actually try to make that fight or anything. I know Golovkin doesn't care about the fight. You know, he's just beat Moran, now he's got Canelo, but I can't see how Golovkin was ducking Andre, if I'm being honest.
I think Andre will take the Golovkin fight now, but I think Golovkin now is looking for a few paydays and then he's getting off.
I mean, win or lose against Canelo, he will retire.
But then I don't know. I would like to see fight. I'd like to see him become undisputed at 160. Fight Charlo and Andre.
Yeah, Andre probably won't be there. So it's just Charlo at that point.
Yeah. Just Charlo. Yeah. Andre's gonna be at 168. But I don't know.
Charlo's going to be at 168 soon as well. You know, the middleweight division is going to be very different soon. Yeah,
no, but Janibek. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one as well. That's a fight that Andre should have taken, but then it would have been a tough one, eh?
Yeah, no. Eddie Hearn said he's not paying for that. He said Eddie Hearn said he's not, like, that would have been unmarketable. Like no, Andre doesn't have the biggest following in the world, and then nobody like Janibek is from Russia or wherever. Yeah, so it's like that would have been hard to market. It would have been another one, and they're paying Andre, the zone. So they were like, nah, man, we're not paying for that.
Yeah,
and then he might lose, Eddie Hearn said too. So like, it really don't make no sense.
I mean, to be fair, if Andre did beat I know Janibek's a very good fighter anyway, but if Andre did beat Janibek, he wouldn't actually even get credit for that fight anyway, because Janibek's not actually known, but Janibek is very good. It's a very dangerous fight for him.
Yeah. Lil Penny, how's it going, man?
Hey, man, how are you guys?
What's up, Lil Penny, man?
Hey, Makai. EK, long time no see. Who's the other M?
What's happening, guys?
M is
hey, man.
No, there's only one M.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah.
There's only one M. There's EK. There's and D Money.
Oh, okay. Hey, D Money, how are you?
I'm good, bro.
What are you guys talking about?
A lot of things.
Boxing.
Are you in the train, Little Penny? Little Penny,
yes,
you in the train?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I was like, what's going off there? I was like, yeah. But yeah, Little Penny. Basically, we were talking about. There's some crazy stuff being spoke about. Apparently, Canelo Alvarez has been linked to a fight with Oleksandr Uysk. Canelo told Eddie Hearn that make the fight at 200 pounds and I'll fight Uysk. And Usyk's team's got in contact with Canelo now, and they've said we're willing to come down to 200 pounds to fight you.
Wow, that's a big risk for Usyk because he weighed at 230 against AJ, right? He'll probably be. AJ, yeah, and he'll probably be the same for the rematch, if not bigger. And then to lose 30 pounds, man, that's dangerous, ain't it?
Yeah. It could have a big effect. Do you think Canelo might put a rehydration clause on there as well?
Oh
100%.
My God! Yeah. Yes.
100%.
Yes. For that fight, yes.
Yeah. You have to. Canelo has to do that. There's no way he's
but Usyk will be like a dead man. You know what I mean? Like, that's dangerous.
Yeah. Do you know what rehydration clause is as well?
That'll be dangerous, man. Imagine like if Usyk can't even tie his shoelaces.
No. But the thing is, if it is dangerous, then his team shouldn't sign that contract, right?
Yeah,
once
but
you sign the contract,
money talks,
but,
man. Money talks in this game.
yeah, well,
I've seen fighters do a
but,
lot of
like,
crazy things.
well, it's Usyk. He's not like some like.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And he's fighting Joshua as well. He's getting big paydays there, eh?
Yeah. So like, I feel like so if Johnny Jacobs, when Canelo put a rehydration clause on Johnny Jacobs didn't even follow it. Like he was like, he went over, and still got beat. But like, it just, but like, if he's fighting Usyk, he has to like, I don't know. That's crazy to me that like that we were even talking about like Usyk versus Canelo when.
So here's the thing, EK. Ronald says this: if they make Usyk v v Canelo, that is a clear indication Canelo being a PED cheat. They have weight classes for a reason.
Not really.
I don't get
Is
it.
that, like,
I don't get it.
because Canelo walks around at probably like 190, 200. You know what I mean? So
Easy.
he's probably like, yeah, and Canelo like spars with heavyweights. Alexis Sanchez? No, not Sanchez. The Cuban guy. He under Eddie Reynoso.
Frank Sanchez.
Frank Sanchez. Yeah, like he spars with Canelo all the time. So like, I'm pretty sure if Canelo's like, if I can beat this guy, then I can beat like other heavyweights or whoever, cruiserweights.
Yeah, EK, I think what Canelo is trying to do, because remember when he was younger, he was like the new golden boy, and he was always compared to Oscar De La Hoya, right? He won 6 belts in 6 different weight classes. So far, Canelo won 154, 160, 168, 175. So he's got 4, right? So if he goes to cruiserweight, say beats Makabu, that's 5. Oscar De La Hoya won 6. So for him to get to 6, right, he'll have to go to heavyweight, and Oscar De La Hoya's resume is stacked.
But
you know what I mean? And,
I know, but
but
Lil Penny, the thing is, Oscar started at a way lower class. When you're a Manny Pacquiao, Oscar or Floyd, you go through way lower weight classes than like someone like who starts at 147 or 155, because like there's only so much. Like say if Canelo can't go up as many like as 7 or 6 weight classes, or because like he'll have to go to heavyweight, and like it'll be when Oscar De La Hoya started at 135, I think. I'm not sure what weight class he started.
130.
130. Yeah, see, there's so many more weight classes. Like as he grows up, he can go up to like 168 or 155. There's so many weight classes in between, but from 155 to like heavyweight, there's not as many weight classes in between, and it's harder for bigger guys to go up weight classes.
Yeah, but EK, when De La Hoya first started out, he was really young, right? So he started at 130, and he beat Genaro Hernandez. Genaro Hernandez, not the washed-up Genaro Hernandez that Mayweather fought like 5 years later. But this is how good Oscar was. Even at that age, he still beat Genaro Hernandez. Canelo at 147 didn't win. Yeah, but Canelo at 147 at the same age didn't win a belt. In fact, he nearly got stopped against Abner Cotto, remember?
Yeah, but like they just have different stories. They're both great in their own rights. It's just like when I'm pretty sure, when did Tyson Fury win his first belt at heavyweight?
Against Klitschko.
Yeah.
And how old was he?
He was that was 6 years. So Tyson Fury right now is 33. So Tyson Fury won his first belt at around
26.
27.
Yeah, so see, like if I compare more like all the other champ, like Mike Tyson won it at like 20, Muhammad Ali won it at like 22 or something. Like it doesn't matter when you win your belts or how old you are. It's just like they see Tyson Fury is still great, and Canelo's still gonna be great no matter like how old was his first belt. So I don't see like that, but I feel like I think like the way like Oscar is acting on Twitter right now, when Shakur beat the shit out of Oscar,
I saw that.
Yeah, and then Oscar De La Hoya like Canelo versus Floyd. I'm like, bro,
Yeah, I saw that.
Like I don't understand what.
Yeah.
Oscar's like hating real bad. And watch if when the time comes that Canelo leaves Eddie Hearn or whatever, which he won't because he's a free agent now. I don't know. I just feel like Oscar's very like his career like at the near end after is like not respected as much.
Hmm.
But EK, you know De La Hoya's resume. It's really stacked. He fought everybody, and he won some. He probably won more than he lost. I respect that. But you know,
No,
He
with
lost
Canelo's
sometimes.
resume,
He lost 6 times.
yeah. But to all-time greats too. He lost to Trinidad Mosley, Mayweather, Pacquiao, and that's it. Yeah, those. Oh my God, like those are pound for pound greats. But what I'm trying to say is, like with Oscar with Canelo's resume, say Canelo becomes undisputed at 175, will he have a better resume than Oscar?
Yeah. I'd have to say, because remember, Oscar lost 6 times. Canelo's kind of like lost once, and he's kind of dominating now. And Oscar never really dominated like that, did he? Did he? Did he dominate the way Canelo's dominating right now?
Yeah, but he got robbed. I think had he beaten Tito, I think it would have catapulted because he would have been pound for pound #1 at that time, and I think he did. How did you score that fight?
What, the Tito Trinidad one? The Trinidad one.
Yeah.
Little Penny. Well,
Can you hear me?
Oscar did a lot of running at the back end of that fight, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
That was a close one, man. That was a close one.
He did win,
last
though.
couple of rounds, man. Hey?
But he did
Some
win,
people
though.
had him,
I thought.
Yeah, some people
Imran,
had
can
him.
you
Some
hear me?
people had him. Yeah. Go on.
I thought he won the first 6 rounds, and there was some swing rounds to 6. So if he only has to win one more round in the last 6 rounds, I agree he lost the last 3, but 7, 8, 9. I mean, if you can give him one round there, he wins, right?
Gabe Torres says Oscar gave that fight away. Stop fighting.
Yeah, he did. Same thing as what Serrano did. Exactly what Amanda Serrano did on the weekend. She gave it away.
That was a fight.
Oh man, I've seen that fight like 5 times already. It was really good.
I watched both. I watched Shakur Stevenson. Like I watched Amanda Serrano v Katie, and I was so pumped. And then I was like, yes, I'm gonna watch Shakur now. And then I fell asleep watching Shakur because that was terrible, man.
Yeah.
Shakur's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong, but like, I'm sorry, man. That wasn't like people say. Oh, you know what? It's beautiful to watch, man. That wasn't beautiful to watch, man.
I was trying to see the prime. I was trying to see the pretty boy. That's what people keep comparing him to. I saw nothing like that.
Oh no, pretty boy was dying.
I know. Honestly, people were like, "Oh yeah, he's the next best thing. He's the next pretty boy Floyd." Nothing like Floyd. Floyd. Right. By the way, Shakur. Yeah, he looked very good. I gave Alvarez like 3 rounds probably at max. Shakur, yeah, he done very well. He's battling for most of the pop. The low blows, man, that was horrible, wasn't it, man?
Yeah.
The amount of times he got warned for that was horrible. I'm very sure he didn't get a point taken away from him.
Yeah, dirty low blow.
But Makai, the knockdown was pretty. Makai, the knockdown was pretty good though.
Yeah,
I'll give him that. But
clean.
yeah,
It was clean, man. Yeah, he caught him right on the back.
Yeah, but Shakur should have.
Valdez disappointed me, Little Penny.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything.
Bring it. Yeah. I thought that he was going to do like a Chavez, like just maul him, because he was talking about that pre-fight, and he didn't do any of that.
I thought he was going to you know what I mean? But
yeah, because I think Shakur's just too big for him.
Yeah.
Shakur Shakur is even big for 135, really.
Who
Yeah,
wins?
sure.
Shakur against Lomachenko and Shakur against Javon.
Shakur beats Davis, but he
That's a good
definitely
fight.
he definitely doesn't beat Loma.
Mm.
He definitely don't beat Loma. Loma's actually the worst matchup for him. I mean, he's really the worst matchup for everyone. But because Loma, he's got the head movement to actually get in the inside. He's got the movement, the angles, and everything. I think and the body work. I think he's a terrible matchup for Stevenson.
Did you, Little Penny? Did you say Shakur beats Lomachenko?
Yeah, the best fight there would be Shakur versus Tank Davis. I think that would be a huge pay-per-view fight. But for the Loma one, I feel like Shakur is too big for Loma at 135. I think it's going to be like Loma versus Rigo, but this time Loma is Rigo and Shakur is Loma. Remember when they fought at 126 where he was just too big for him? Because really Rigo is a 118 fighter. I feel like it will be like that. And also, Loma is not as quick as he used to be. His legs are like, it's not, he's not that whirling dervish that we used to see him. So I think Shakur will be just too big, too long for him at 135. I think the guy that will give him fits at 135 is Haney, because Haney, he's the same size as him. And he's not as quick, but I think he'll give him a little bit of trouble. You know what I mean, Imran Makai?
Yeah. I think Shakur might be really good. We don't know at the minute. He might be the best of the lot. He might be special.
Who do you guys think wins between Haney and Bose? I can't wait for that fight, man. That's a very exciting fight.
That's a 50-50 type one.
Yeah, obviously, oh, sorry, I'll ask you. Yeah,
Yeah, Makai, I'm going to that fight. I'm going to that fight. I'm just.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Lucky, man.
I'm just waiting for Haney to come to Australia. Once I know that he's in Australia, then I'll buy some tickets, because I went to the ticketing where you buy the tickets. Yeah, there's plenty of seats still available. So I'm going to that. And Imran, if you're on live, I'll put the camera on the other side so you can see, like, you know, or you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Or I can interview some people.
Yeah. You know what the thing is? I don't think you can do it at the fight, because otherwise they'll probably ban me or something. I reckon if you you could interview people. That'd be great on there. But let's see when the fight's there. That'll be good, man, because that fight is quite big in Australia. That's going to be massive.
Obviously, I will pick Cambosis. I'm kind of
Go on.
Sorry, Makai. I was just gonna say that, you know, I'll if you want, I can give you my scores each round, and I'll ask people who's sitting next to me what they thought, and then like we can have a chat as well.
Yeah. That'll be good, man. That'll be good when that happens. Let's see that fight. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm really looking. Stevenson is a good boring boxer, but great, not even. Maybe later. Also, a commentator said Stevenson came in weighing super heavy and want to weigh in on
guess how much he was on Fight Night?
How much?
He was like 152.
Oh, is it?
Wow.
Yeah, that's huge. That's very big.
When Pacquiao was fighting at 135, he only rehydrated to 148.
Yeah, Pacquiao was a small man. I mean, it was obvious as well when he was fighting the guys. But yeah, I'm not going to say, oh, that's why Shakur beat him, because I mean, Shakur's last two fights was against Herring and Nakatali, and they were both bigger than him, but he's still big. He's still big for that weight.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Hey, Michael, what's going on?
Hey, Imran, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Hey,
What's
Imran,
good?
what is, I keep seeing, what's all this talk about, I keep seeing on these YouTube channels talking about Canelo ducking Earl spins. What is all that? What is everybody talking about?
Who's talking about it?
Seeing a whole bunch of YouTube channels talking, saying that Canelo was ducking Earl Spence, that Earl Spence like 60 million or something.
Yeah. We were speaking about that earlier. So basically, Tom Brown came out and said that Canelo was offered a fight with Errol Spence for $55 million. And Canelo went down and chose, according to Tom Brown, the easier route and took the Bivol and Golovkin fight. Instead of fighting Charlo, he was getting offered 45 million, and Benavidez and Spence were $55 million. He was being offered, and the fight for Spence was going to be at 164.
But Canelo can't make
that's-
164.
Yeah, that's nonsense, though. That's nonsense. Like Canelo, I mean, that's not to me. I'm not trying to disrespect Earl Spence. He's like, I think, a great fighter, but I mean, that's not even a fight. I think Canelo would dismantle him.
Is
Yeah, I
he
agree.
kind out for you guys?
Say that again.
Yeah, he is.
I thought he was. Is he kind out for you as well? He's really, yeah, I can't really understand what he's saying. He's really cutting out for them.
The audio,
Excellent grade.
I think Michael, your audio, your connection, I don't know, something's off. We can hear
But
you,
hey,
but it's
you know,
not great.
but Imran, you know, with those fights, the 164, that's rubbish. Canelo's not going to go down to that A side. Or you can't demand him to go to 164.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
He has to come up to 165. Spence, that is. Yeah, same for Charlo and Benavidez.
Yeah.
The Charlo fight will be 68, 75. But you know what? I think Imran Makai. I think he will do that next year. He just took the zone deal first, and then he might take that PBC deal next year.
Yeah, possibly.